Welcome to Game Chat 1 episode 147. Got a lot of great news for you guys today. I've been doing a lot of news anyway. If you guys have been noticing on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bwana, I've been doing quite a bit of news and just news stories in the vein of Game Chat with Bwana. And I'm like, why not just make Game Chat with Bwana, you know? So here's an intro of Game Chat with Bwana, episode 147. The last Game Chat with Bwana was 7 months ago. So we're early. Yeah, we're early. Game Chat with Bwana. We got good stories today talking about Minecraft. What else? We got some GDC stuff, Game Developer Conference, some Capcom news, as well as some for Horizon Forbidden West on PC, which I think you all are going to enjoy that. So thanks everybody for watching Game Chat 1 episode 147. It's kind of weird that we're doing it this way, but get used to it because it's happening. Enjoy the show. Minecraft. Let's talk about Minecraft, but not a good Minecraft story, a Minecraft story that's actually bad, which is the opposite of good. A Minecraft exploit is reportedly allowing coordinated attackers to get any Xbox Microsoft account fully banned. This story is over on windowscentral.com. They got the details about there. This is something that's pretty bad. An exploit Minecraft is being used to get influencers. These are people that are like on the internet and a lot of people watch, get their Xbox accounts banned, and Xbox needs to fix it. It's one of the things I like about Windows Central. They have what you need to know right there at the beginning. While still unconfirmed by Xbox, that's important. It's not confirmed by Xbox or Microsoft yet. The video evidence is pretty convincing that a Minecraft exploit is allowing people to trick Xbox into banning any account they want. The Java version, now there's, you got the console version, and you got the Java version, which is what we call the legacy, which I prefer. The Java version of Minecraft seems to be susceptible, and the exploit is quite easy to carry out, according to this article. YouTuber Nick reports that he has become the victim of this exploit with his entire Xbox account banned due to false reports by harassers abusing this exploit. Now, how does it work? So what they do is that you fill in anybody's gamer tag. You can just fill in somebody's gamer tag. Then with this exploit, just spam a bunch of stuff that's bad. That will get you banned. You just spam stuff. So just stuff that's just bad, right? And then you go back and then you report that to Microsoft, mass report that. And what happens is that automatically, due to Microsoft's automatic banning system, this will lead to a ban on your entire account. So this is really bad. I'm hoping that Microsoft looks at this. I'm hoping that they go through and figure out what's going on, how people are doing this. There's a video with the said exploit. If you want more details on it, this is it from this guy Nick, and it's just really troubling because it kind of reminds me of the early days of like DRM and DMCA. There was people using that system, abusing that system too, to get their influencer that they just hate for some reason banned, to get them 3 copyright strikes. People would do a whole bunch of false copyright claims, and it was really easy to do. You can still do that today, by the way. People are still doing false copyright claims and getting false copyright strikes on people's YouTube accounts, but you can go through the appeal process, and after investigation, you can get it reversed, but it's still an annoying process. And the person who does get caught doing it, mind you, if you do get caught doing that, there's some serious repercussions. So don't do it. Don't do it. You can get in a lot of trouble. A Minecraft exploit, guys. This is bad. Right now, it's being used to get Xbox accounts banned, but if you just play Minecraft on the Java version, which is what I do, you still have to use a Microsoft account. So there are ways to get that account banned as well using the Java version, as this article points out. Really bad. Really bad. Check it out over on windowscentral.com. They got the details about this Minecraft exploit getting people banned, target banned, and Microsoft hasn't acknowledged it yet, but hopefully they know about it and are working on it. And for our next story, we're going to talk about this dev of Knockout City, which has moved up the list of my favorite devs of all time. This guy says, hey, when devs are closing live service games, they should make a private hosted version. Oh, I love this guy. Doing so keeps the game alive forever. This is Villan's Josh Harrison, who did a speak over at the GDC talking about this particular story. Villan Studios Director of Marketing Josh Harrison made the suggestion during a talk he held at GDC called All Good Things, Sunsetting Your Game the Right Way. Now, Villan Studios is behind a game called Knockout City. It was a dodgeball game. I played it. It was really fun. But it kind of got sunset. But what happened was, it says the game was closed down in June 2023, but not before Valon released a private server edition of the game on PC, which is still available to download on this website and essentially keeps the game playable for multiplayer or bot matches with all previous modes and most non-licensed customization options unlocked. Wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't that be grand? This dude says there are small but mighty communities that are still going, built around this private server months after shutdown, but playing games daily, hosting their own tournaments where they're raising their own prize pools and more. Our community members even built a launcher that makes it easier to get into private servers as well as to see a private server list of active player counts. Now, this is the way. This is some Mandalorian stuff right here, man. Let me tell you how many games that I have lost. Now, top of the list is Marvel Heroes. That's the one that always comes to mind. It's like how many games I've sunk so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars into, and time and money and sweat and tears and laughter and pain, only to see them go away because they were live service games that was online only, and then the company went under, and then the game's gone forever. If only they would have did this, right? If only they would have did this. If only they would have, prior to going offline, taken the code, strip out all the stuff that, is copyrighted and all that kind of good stuff, and then make a private server. Now, we do realize, he even states in here, it's like some things it's hard to do. With Marvel Heroes, everything's Marvel. Everything's licensed by Disney. So it's kind of hard to make a private server version of that. I get that. I can still talk about it and still be upset about it. But realistically, it's kind of hard to do that for Marvel and Disney because the nature of that stupid license that they have. But for other games out there, like say like Gigantic, that's a game that's got re-released like 3 times. Why don't they just make a private version of Gigantic instead of having to go under, come back, go under, come back? Just build a private server version of it. Let the players maintain it. Let the players keep it alive, have tournaments and all kinds of good stuff, and the game won't die. It just won't die. He concluded with this. If you take one thing away from this talk, this is it. Make a private hosted version of your game. It is the single best thing you can do. Or it's the single biggest thing that we did to impact the positive reception of the sunset. So check this story out, man, over on videogamechronicle.com. They got the details about this outstanding talk by a marketing guy from Blonde Studios, Josh Harrison, who says that maybe before your game sunsets, you should make a private server version of it so your game never dies. It's such a great idea, something that should be repeated, and I hope devs take this to heart. So check it out. They got the details over there. Exclusive! This is over on thestreamer.com. I've never seen this site before, but we might see more of it now. This guy claims to have an exclusive story about an upcoming game that sounds pretty interesting. An Overwatch-style Marvel game coming soon. A 6v6 third-person shooter. They call it a shooter, but it's probably going to be like, like Overwatch was. Like, not everybody has guns because, you don't see Hulk running around with a gun. That'd be kind of silly. But check the story out, man. It says a source provided the streamer with screenshots, which I will not share here, of what they described as a 6v6 Overwatch-style hero shooter that features a litany of familiar and lesser-known Marvel characters. It will be a third-person shooter, right? Not a first-person one. The screenshots I've seen have confirmed this. Being developed by NetEase. You guys know at NetEase. I know NetEase from their mobile games. But they've also done Marvel games before. They did Marvel Super War and Marvel Duel, right? So the guy at the streamer goes on to describe the game. He says, aesthetically, I've seen the game. It looks similar to Valorant, which is a polygonal approach to the art style, which is a kind of a timeless art style. I applaud Riot for this. They picked an art style that doesn't age, right? Like we look at Counter-Strike, it kind of ages, but it doesn't age as much. And just like Overwatch and Valorant, and I like to compare them to like Wind Waker. You know how Zelda Wind Waker has the cell shaded look. That's a very timeless type of an art style. And this reminds me of that cell shaded, like low texture, high poly, low texture art style that can stand the test of time. Now, what characters will appear in the untitled Marvel game? All right. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, Iron Man, Luna Snow, Punisher, Rocket, Groot, Loki, Spider-Man, Hulk, Magic, Magneto, Mantis, Storm, Penny Parker, forget about Peter, Penny, Black Panther, Star-Lord, Namor, and Thor. And this list is subject to change. Each character will have their own set of abilities and powers, and more are likely to be added. So this is a very, very interesting story because I like the premise. I like the idea of a hero-based objective shooter. Like the Overwatch formula was good to me, even though the game is essentially dead to me. Even though the game is dead to me right now, the formula it had was good because it reminded me of TF2, but they added MOBA-like powers, and a lot of people have caught on to that formula. You know, like Hi-Rez did the same thing. A lot of their games too. The formula works. Balancing can be a challenge, but the formula for fun works. Competitive, I don't know. Like, I don't think Overwatch competitive really worked that well because of all the death balls that were formed and the metas that formed out of it just weren't. They just made the game unfun. But just from a strictly just shooter, casual, fun game, I think the Overwatch formula was a good formula. And to put that in the Marvel universe could work. It could work. I mean, if you look at a lot of the Overwatch heroes, you can probably do a one-to-one comparison with somebody from Marvel if you really, really tried. So there's a lot of power overlap that can happen there. You got your range, you got your brawlers, you know, you got your telekinesis, you got your support heroes, your healers and stuff. So all of that's in the Marvel universe. So this could work. This could work. However, it is NetEase. So they are slating to release this on PC, console, and mobile, according to the streamer here. So I don't remember any other game that NetEase has done on PC. So if they are going to do PC, this might be their first foray on this. So I don't know how that's going to affect things. Is it going to be a gacha game? Is it going to be your typical MOBA form? Not MOBA, your mobile phone formula where you've got to unlock heroes through a series of grinds, and then with those grinds, there's different aspects of gear that you have to collect and combine to form bigger sets of gear. You see where I'm going with this? That mobile formula from other games that has a hook that can seem fun, but over time you start to hate yourself because you're still playing it. Yeah, that could be a thing. That could ruin the game, I think, if they go too far with that kind of stuff. However, if they keep it as simple as something like Overwatch in terms of like the meta game and the price, I hope it's got a price on it. If it's free to play, that's a good thing from one aspect, but it could actually ruin the game too. Personally, I hope it has a price, but I'm not everybody. A lot of things go wrong with this and a lot of things go right. It's good to speculate on this because this is all rumor. I want to clarify that this is all rumor. This has not been confirmed by anybody. This is the first guy who's ever come out and say all this stuff. Although he did reference a tweet from another dude here by the name of Cases, who says the game is called Marvel Rivals. So these two are kind of agreeing on, you know, NetEase doing a AAA FPS game in the Marvel universe. But this guy has more details that I don't think anybody else has. So he says, we expect it to be available for everyone to play around Q3 2025, though I have personally been told it will probably launch within the next year. So check this story out about a potential Marvel 6v6 Overwatch clone, which could be coming as early as next year by NetEase. Sounds like a good formula, but a lot could go wrong and a lot could go right, depending on which direction they go. Check it out. Streamer.com has the details. Let's talk about it. Capcom and Dragon Dogma 2. This has been a controversial topic since the game came out last week. And it mainly has to do with two main areas of Dragon's Dogma. It has to do with the DLC and performance issues with the game. So Capcom has responded to criticism. So why is everybody going up in arms? Because the game came out, had a lot of good pre-release reviews, and People were praising the game left and right, but it had a mix. It was like mostly negative for a while. Then it had mixed reviews on Steam, where only 40% of the 9,000 reviews were positive. Well, people found out, this was post-launch, they found out that there were 21 separate DLC purchases available on day one. Take a look. I got them up here on Steam. Kind of small. I can't make it that much bigger, but let's just say there's some DLCs in here that are questionable. Number one, character change DLC, which we haven't, is not brand new. We've seen that somewhere. We've seen in other games. In order to change your character's look, you have an item you can buy. And then there's also fast travel vouchers, which you can buy with real money. So this is a game that's $70, full price, single player game, full price, single player game that has DLC for fast travel and DLC for character edits and some other things, which got players up in arms. So in a message published on Steam, Capcom said, "We have received numerous comments from the community. To all those looking forward to the game, we sincerely apologize for any inconvenience. On the subject of microtransactions, Capcom noted that all the items listed below can be obtained in-game or as paid DLC." So they list the character editor, some other markers, some other things, change pawn inclinations, rift crystals, escape from jail, and happy lure item. A bunch of things that they said you can get in-game, but are also available as paid DLC. They also commented on the frame rate issues. It says that a large amount of CPU usage is allocated to each character and calculated the impact of the physical presence in various areas, basically bad coding. In certain situations where numerous characters appear simultaneously, the CPU usage can be very high and may affect the frame rate. We are aware of such situations. Settings that reduce GPU load may currently have a limited effect. However, we are looking at ways to improve the performance. So there are some day one performance issues. Again, something that we've seen many, many times in other games. So players are up in arms. There's a crowd that says this is terrible. This sets a bad precedent. And there's a crowd that says you can get them in game, so it's not an issue. Well, this is how I feel about it. And it comes down to one statement only. If all the items can be obtained in game, why are they being sold as DLC? That's the question I posed to Capcom. If all the items can be obtained in game, then why are they being sold as DLC? That question should lead to the root problem. If you can obtain the items in game, there should be no reason to buy them. Unless we're going full cam on this one. Unless there's something in the game to incentivize purchasing the item because the way to get them in game is inconvenient. How is that inconvenient? How is that process inconvenient? By design. Right? So to get multiple vouchers for fast travel, to do the character editor and stuff, if it's inconvenient enough to purchase it, right? Because that's what these purchases are for. These DLCs are for convenience. So if it's inconvenient, whose fault and whose design is that to make that a paid item? That is a question that needs to be answered here. Because honestly, I find that there should be no reason to sell things in game that you can get by playing it. And this is the example that I use. A game that was near and dear to my heart. Overwatch. Not Overwatch. I'm sorry. We were just talking about Overwatch last game. Warframe. A game near and dear to my heart, Warframe. Warframe had an item in their shop for credits. I think it was called a high roller pack. It was the most useless thing in the shop because credits are so easily obtained just by grinding, but you got to know where to go. So it's a knowledge thing. You got to know where to go to get the credits. If you don't know, If you don't know where to get the credits, then going to the shop and buying 10,000 credits for an absorbent amount of money is the easier option. So we called that, I called it a stupid tax, but it's actually an ignorant tax. If you don't know about how to get these things, you pay money because you're ignorant. And to me, that's borderline predatory, right? To make a game design to where that stuff is not readily available in terms of knowledge, and then you charge them to get around something that they should already know. That's a little bit predatory, and I got on DE about it all the time. I'm like, the high roller packs, the credit packs in the shop need to be removed. They're stupid. They need to go away. People can grind credits, that amount of credits, in a matter of minutes, and you're charging them $5 for it, right? It's the same type of idea here with this stuff with Dragon Dogma, if you ask me. If these items can be obtained in game, there is no reason to sell them. Unless there is a design in place to make it harder or inconvenient to where people would spend money. And that's a bigger issue to me than, oh, it doesn't affect me because I'm going to get them in game. I don't have to buy them. Just don't buy them forehead, you know, is what people will say. Just don't buy the items. No, it's a little bit bigger than that. This is a design flaw and a core problem in gaming today. It's a predatory technique to get you to spend money when you shouldn't. Like charging for a shopping cart. At some point, somebody's got to ask, why are you charging for a shopping cart? And then you get into the crux of the matter. It's just like, you don't have to charge for a shopping cart. Well, people don't return to, well, that's a problem, right? So why am I paying for your problem? So it's an ignorant tax. It's definitely an ignorant tax. And I think that ignorant taxes should be banned from video games. They really should. Like, if somebody doesn't know how to do something, they shouldn't have to pay to get around it. That's predatory. Because despite what they may say or do or think, if they find out later that these items can be obtained in game and they paid money, a lot of people will be irate and livid. Like, I wish I would have known that, and I would not have spent money on it. And I'm gonna tell you, a vast majority of gamers, they're going to look at this and go, oh, I need to buy fast travel? I better get 5 or 6 of these because I'm loving this game. I'm going to get 5 or 6 of these. Before they even find out about it in game. It could be the most obvious thing to you, super gamer, but this is predatory. This is predatory. There's no other way to put it. It's predatory. It should be removed, right? Now, can you enjoy the game without doing these games? Of course. That's not the point I'm making here. The point I'm making is that it shouldn't even be in the shop in the first place. If these were removed from the shop, nothing would change in the game, right? Like, the game would not be worse if these were removed. The game would not be better if these were removed in terms of like the game itself. This is totally extracurricular and totally unnecessary to the game. So the question comes back to, why in the world are they even there if you can get them in game? Why are they there? Period. I mean, to me, that should solve the argument. If that question is addressed by Capcom, why do you have DLC in the game that you can obtain in game? If they can answer that eloquently, then that would be ideal for them. To just basically tell the players what their goals are and why they're doing it. If they're truthful about it. If they're not truthful about it, then we can call them out on it. Because honestly, they shouldn't be there. And people who defend it will even agree with that. They will say, well, it doesn't affect the game at all. You can get them in game. So why are they being sold? Why are they being sold? Check it out over on videogameschronicle.com. They got the details about this. Capcom has responded to criticism for Dragon's Dogma's paid DLC and performance issues. It reminds me of something I went through with Warframe, other games, where there's just certain things that shouldn't be paid, and there's no reason to have them there. If they're obtainable in game, there's really no reason to have them, unless the design of the game is so that you can buy them. And that's the trend that we want to avoid. We want to avoid games being designed for things to be so inconvenient that you need to pay. that's some predatory mobile game type stuff, right? If it's so inconvenient that you've got to pay, that's a bad design. Check it out. They got the details on videogamechronicles.com. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Forbidden West. And for our next story, we're going to talk about Horizon Forbidden West PC port, which has been released on PC on Steam, and it's actually getting good reviews. And this is good news because these types of ports in the past from Sony have not been as great on day one. Horizon is the latest and greatest from Sony. It's a good game from what people say. I still haven't played it. I'm looking forward to it. But by all accounts, this is the article over on InsiderGaming.com. It says Forbidden West is a wonder on PC, racking up more than 2,200 reviews and garnering a very positive rating on Steam. By numbers, it's the 6th most popular PS Studios. That's PlayStation. PlayStation Studios launch on PC, but it's expected to climb that chart and overtake The Last of Us Part 1, which has a lead over Forbidden West by just 1,000 players. It's been lauded as one of the most stable, well-delivered ports in the history of PS Studios. Oh, I love those words. Let me tell you how many times I have played a console port on PC in the many years I've been gaming. I'm just going to be going full cam on all these. On the many years I've been gaming, let me tell you how many times I have played a game where the game itself is good. Like people are like, oh, I didn't have that problem on console. Why are you having that problem? Borderlands. Red Dead Redemption. Like, I didn't have that problem on console. As soon as you come over to PC, you have all these problems and issues, which ultimately gives you a negative view of the game. So people are like, how in the world could you not like Borderlands? How in the world could you not like Red Dead Redemption 2? Oh, I played on PC. Like, and? So the PC port was crap. Oh, I didn't know about that. Well, that's what happens with a lot of these games is that they get ported from console to PC by some third-party studios, somebody that gets outsourced, and they do a terrible job of doing it, whether it be inputs. I'm looking at you, Witcher. Who remembers The Witcher? First Witcher? The Witcher. I'm going back a little bit. The first Witcher that was ported to PC, ooh-wee. Inca. What an absolute stinker that was. That was a terrible port. Borderlands. I go back to Borderlands. That was another terrible port. There's a lot of different ports that came over from console to PC that were praised on the console, but ultimately were garbage on PC. And Horizon Zero Dawn was one of those games which had some really bumpy launches, or a really bumpy launch on PC, as well as Last of Us and a lot of these PlayStation 2 Studios ports. They had some bumpy launches and some technical problems to overcome. Were ultimately patched and became better over time, but that initial launch was actually pretty bad. So this is one that's going in the right direction, that has actually launched in a good, stable state, and the game is good, the port is good, good times all around, you know what I mean? It's racked up a peak concurrent player count of 35,168 users, which is only a short distance behind The Last of Us Part 1, which boasts an all-time peak of 36,496. So this is a good time to get into these PlayStation ports on PC. This is a good time to just be a gamer, because a lot of PlayStation games get overlooked by PC gamers because they don't want to buy a console. And then when they finally play one of these games, they go, wow, that was actually a very good experience. These PlayStation Studios games are really, really good encapsulated single-player story experiences that need to be shared to everyone, not just PlayStation owners. Right? This is one of the reasons why PlayStation is my console of choice, because of these types of games. I don't get those types of games, I feel, on the Xbox. I get them on PlayStation. They're very, very good, tailored, curated, single-player experiences that are high quality and can really be satisfying. You know, sometimes they're only like 10 to 12 hours, 8 to 10 hours, but that's a lot of good entertainment for the price that you're paying. It's a lot of good entertainment, and they're replayable too. A lot of these PlayStation Studio games are replayable, so you can get more than one playthrough doing different things and checking out different stuff and exploring, especially like Horizon games where you can explore and do so much in the world to the tune of like Red Dead Redemption, like exploration. Like you can just go crazy and just rack up many, many hours just exploring the world and just checking out some of the side content. Check it out, man. Horizon Forbidden West, good PC port in current year. This is a good trend. Let's keep it going, okay? Let's keep it going. And that concludes Game Chat 1 episode 147. I hope you enjoyed the content. Like I said, it's the same as I've been doing. We just packaged it together. We call it Game Chat 1. So a little bit of extra work on me to record this outro here, where I tell you to subscribe to the video if you haven't already. Click subscribe, like the content, enjoyed it. Also, make sure you follow me on all social medias. They'll be listed in the description below. I'll see you next time. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Bye.